Today, when the court ruling came down, where were you at? What did you feel when you heard it? Describe that experience.
Okay, so all of us at Planned Parenthood were super excited and really, really anxious to hear about the ruling. So we all gathered in the boardroom at like 9:59, turned on MSNBC, and within seconds the ruling came down, and we just all started screaming and cheering and getting on Facebook, of course, and really reading the blogs and getting up to speed on everything. We were just super excited. So right away we emailed the rest of our staff to let them know what was going on in case they weren't glued to a computer like we were. And then we decided to have an ice cream party to celebrate. So we had a nice ice cream party for our staff. We also all got Wendy's for lunch to celebrate Wendy Davis last night, who was up in Texas and filibustering the anti-abortion law that was getting pushed through. And then we just spent the day, celebrating, passing out our pride stickers, and just really, calling our friends and showing a lot of support for the LGBT community. And we're really excited to take this to the next level, to see how now that we have marriage equality, how we can take it to the next level to make sure that there's not only marriage equality and equal rights, but access to health care, access to education, access to all these things that people are now afforded.
Okay. Now, was there anything about the rulings that you guys would have liked to seen different, or something that was missing?
I think obviously, more rights to everybody would have been wonderful. It would have been wonderful if in 2008 we hadn't passed Amendment 2 in our state, that Planned Parenthood did help campaign against, and we were actively against the marriage equality ban here in Florida. So it's tough for those of us that are activists. We get excited and then we're always looking at our next step. So I think our next step is to really work with our partners here in Florida to see how we can take this a step further now from just marriage equality for other states, and really take it to the next level of what does this mean for Floridians, and how can we ensure that Floridians of all walks of life, of all orientations and gender identities, can have the same access and equality that our brothers and sisters in our other states have.
Now, with Amendment 2 being passed and all, what's the next step? How are we going to, in Florida, be able to possibly get that repealed, and what's our next step to getting the chance to actually reap some of the benefits of this DOMA ruling today?
Absolutely. My understanding is that we would have to introduce another constitutional amendment to overturn the one that was instated in 2008. So while Planned Parenthood understands or respects that there are plenty of other LGBT equality organizations that will be taking the lead on this, we want to assure that we will be there, right behind, helping out and doing what we can to really ensure that that is eventually overturned. And more importantly, in the meantime, in the legislature, when there's anti-LGBT legislation introduced, that we help kill it, and that when there is pro-LGBT equality legislation introduced, that we're there to help advocate for it and really make sure that it gets the fair hearings and fair time in the legislature that it deserves.
Okay. And what else do you see on the horizon, locally in Florida, especially in the state legislature and Senate? What's coming up that's going to be highlights for the gay community and the LGBT community?
Yeah, well, I really think that this is a good chance now that people are excited to, again, just push it to the next level and really educate the community, not only about what happened today, but what we can do to make sure that we take the next step towards equality. So I'm really excited just to see people so excited and get them more engaged, and of course have people turn out to vote in 2014 for representatives that really do represent what we believe in as Floridians, which is equality for all genders and all orientations. So I think it'll be great that we have more people engaged and that we can really kickstart this off, hopefully to a great election season next year, so we can see some more changes here in our state.
Any particular bills on the horizon that we should watch out for and make sure we're plugged into hearing about?
Nothing right now, but as far as Planned Parenthood goes, of course, all the anti-women's health legislation that we defeated last year, I'm sure it will be right back next year. So, we'll just be keeping an eye on that to make sure that Floridians have access to the health care they deserve. And like I mentioned, we'll definitely be working with our partners at Equality Florida and the other LGBT rights organizations to make sure that the pro-equality legislation is moved forward and given more of a chance than it has been given in the past.